Okay, talking about those fontanelles and those heads, what's another problem you see with babies that lay, say, in a bassinet? Exactly, yeah. Because they are moldable up to 2 years old. If you lay them too long in a car seat or a bassinet, or if you allow them to lay on their back because they like it, they don't want to lay on their stomach, they hate being on their stomach, then, yeah, well, I mean, it's just uncomfortable for them. So their head will flatten. And that can impede brain growth. So that's a big deal. That's why they say tummy time, 10 minutes every so many hours or whatever. So you do need to hold them up and, move them in different positions and not allow them to lay on that one spot all the time. So Caitlin hit on the second point of why we have fontanelles. By the age of 2, I mean, their brain is growing very quickly. Their heads are really large compared to the rest of their body, but they are growing quickly, so they need to be able to move and expand. So, why is that a 1-year-old can run 105, 107 temperature and be okay, and you can't? If you had a 107 temperature, you're probably going to go into what are called febrile seizures. Why is that?
Because our bodies are empty.
Nope.
It's already like.
Because what are we talking about? Has to do with the little spaces, the fontanelles. Nope. But it has to. So what happens when things are hot?
Our head doesn't have the soft spots as much anymore, so
we don't have any.
So they
Nope.
each trapped in and we get.
What happens to things when you heat them? Okay, marshmallow. When you put a marshmallow in the microwave, it expands, doesn't it? And it will explode. So it gets bigger. What happens to brain tissue when it's hot?
It expands.
It gets bigger. It swells. Yes, just like our vessels. We are hot, our vessels swell.
Wouldn't it still be dangerous for them? Couldn't they get like
Yes, it's very dangerous for them. So their heads can still move. It's still pliable. And those fontanelles will do what's called bulge when they're running a temperature like that. But yours is ossified. It's completely closed. It's not moving. That means brain tissue's got to go somewhere.
Please rotate to the next session.
You guys can go. I'm just going to finish up lecture, and you just have to watch it online. Bye, guys. Endochondrial ossification. What you really need to know about it is this is because the fetus up until about 3 months is nothing but cartilage. The whole body's kind of like a shark. It's all cartilage. So by 3 months, we start to replace those chondrial sites, that cartilage, with bone. So that's what the endochondrial ossification is. So you need to know that chondrial means cartilage, and we start to ossify it or turn it into bone. And that's 3 months gestation. 3 months gestation means that's in utero. It's in the belly at around 3 months. Where intermembranous ossification, we are still ossifying the bone, but this is talking about some of the other bones that are happening, and this can happen all the way up until 2 years old. Talking about those fontanelles. So, endochondrial ossification, you need to know this begins in the long bone. So this starts in those long bones of those babies, those fetuses, and it'll replace the cartilage. So we'll have osteoblasts come in here. Osteoblasts meaning B for builders, and they'll start changing this cartilage into bone and ossifying it. You also need to know how this does it, what direction it does it. So it'll actually start in the diaphysis and grow out towards the epiphyseus. So the ends, diaphysis meaning the middle, epiphyseus meaning the ends. So it'll start in the middle and it'll grow out towards the ends. Gotta know that. Okay, I've talked about this and talked about the epiphyseal plate. Remember, epiphyseal plate means it's still growing. We haven't stopped growing yet. and you have a line of hyaline cartilage, actually. So hyaline cartilage that is at the end of the epiphyseal plate. And so it can continue to stretch out and grow and lengthen. So that's right here. That's hyaline cartilage that's in that epiphyseal plate. If I say plate, that means it's still growing. It's still elongating as long as there's chondriocytes or cartilage cells there. So between the ages of 16 and 25, we replace those chondriocytes with osteocytes, so bone, and we call it an epiphyseal line. Epiphyseal line. Between the ages of 16 and 25, that occurs. And remember, we can still continue to grow in width or diameter of that bone throughout your lifespan, but your height is going to stop. Oh, let's go to repair and fractures. Okay, so there's a nice diagram in your book covering this. Initially, when you have a fracture or a break, you'll have bleeding that'll occur, so you'll have a hematoma. It'll also, that hematoma will start to turn into granulation tissue pretty quickly. This will create kind of like a splint around that break. Then a hard callus, and then we'll have some remodeling. So we'll have some osteoblasts come in there and take that callus and turn it into some bone again. You do need to know how long it takes to repair a bone. It can take 6 to 8 weeks to repair a bone. You need to look in your book and make sure you know the different types of breaks, spiros, as well as your green stick breaks. You need to know those and what kind of examples could cause those types of breaks. All right, a fetus's first skeleton, what was it composed of? Kind of like a shark. So yeah, C, cartilage. And we'll finish up with chapter 7 tomorrow.